Hello, what is going on, guys? Hockey Guy 1 here. Welcome to my updated 2020 collection video. Which, if you weren't here for last year's video, this is a video where I'm going to be showing pretty much every movie that I got in 2019. Like, I'm pretty much showing my whole collection, just like every movie I got, like, since that last video I made. And, even if this video is, like, a bit late, which I apologize for it, I do kind of have my reasons too. I mean, I just trying to, like, telling us certain movie that you'll see later or in this, and I've more so just didn't really have that much time in January for some reason, so let's just get straight into it. Starting off, I have Alita Battle Angel, which I feel like is a really underrated movie this year. It's like, I wish more people kind of recognized it. It's fine, you know what you're gonna do. And this is actually just a really good movie that I honestly enjoy a lot. I had like the Austin Powers trilogy, which, I mean, these films are pretty entertaining, even if I wasn't really the biggest fan of the third one. I mean, the first two are definitely better than it, but I still kind of like find this trilogy to be entertaining to watch. And I mean, they can be funny for what they are in. I mean, I just find them really enjoyable to watch. And I had the Aquaman Steelbook, which, even if I wasn't really the biggest fan of this movie, I mean, I kind of thought it was just average at best, if I'm being honest. I mean, I wasn't really the biggest fan when I watched this. I still got the Steelbook, because, I mean, and I like the artwork that they put on this, especially on the front. I mean, they did a really good job with the artwork here. You know, I'm not like the biggest fan of the movie. I got Avengers Endgame, which, I mean, pretty much I would say you've all heard of it. I mean, it's pretty much the biggest movie last year, ever seen, the highest grossing movie, which I did really enjoy. I mean, it's probably my favorite MCU movie. I mean, I do probably need to rewatch it because I haven't seen it since it was back in theaters. I mean, and I do probably need to, but I do overall really like this movie. And I got the original Blade Runner, which is pretty much just, I mean, it's a masterpiece. I mean, it's a very great movie for the time it is. So it's a classic, and certainly is a masterpiece. And I got Blade Runner 2049, which was a very great movie. I mean, it's pretty entertaining. I mean, it does have a few flaws, but overall, I did find it pretty entertaining, and it's certainly one of the best movies of 2017. And I got Bumblebee, which is a very great movie. I mean, probably part of the best of the Transformers movies, considering it's like the only one I somewhat liked. As it is just a very lovable film, and I definitely did find it to be very enjoyable. I got Captain Marvel, which I did personally really enjoy. I mean, it says a pretty good movie. It does have its flaws, but I did enjoy it kind of for what it is. I mean, and I did find it pretty fun, but it definitely does have its flaws, and it doesn't really go without it. Then I got A Clockwork Orange, which is a Stanley Kubrick masterpiece. I mean, it's like pretty much a nearly perfect movie, and I do really like this movie for what it is, and it's a pretty classic. And I got the Fast and Furious collection of the first 7 Fast and Furious movies, which I do find pretty interesting. This did come from Mexico or Spain or some country that speaks Spanish. I mean, it's in Spanish. I do always find it pretty interesting when I get something from a different country. And then movies here, and then the first one, the second, Tokyo Drift, Fast Furious, the fourth one, then Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, and Furious 7. Which, I mean, these movies, and they do get better as they go on, I'll say that, but I mean, they didn't really start off well, but they did get better and better as they went on. I got the Fate of the Furious, which was okay, I guess. I mean, and it does have its issues for sure, but it is just a decent action movie at best, and it's pretty enjoyable. And I got Hobbs and Shaw, which is just a really entertaining movie. I mean, it's just really fun to watch, and It's just really funny and just a lot of good action in this, and it's what makes it really fun to watch. And I got Glass, which is obviously the whole end of that whole trilogy with Unbreakable, Split, and Glass. And I did enjoy this movie despite its flaws here and there with like the ending. But I do overall, I definitely would watch this movie if I was asked to, and I did enjoy it. I got the original Halloween from 1978, which is pretty much a horror classic and pretty much a masterpiece. I mean, it set off the whole slasher genre, and pretty much it's just a really scary movie that it kind of is what I feel like a lot of slasher movies nowadays kind of miss out on, is just how scary they made this movie, and just how, you know, it is, I mean, kind of sucks that the franchise kind of went downhill after this, but overall, this movie as its own, it's just a masterpiece and a classic that set off a whole slasher genre. Independence Day, which is a pretty enjoyable movie for what it is. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's certainly one of Roland Emmerich's better movies, as obviously he hasn't really made many good movies, as he's pretty much full of bad movies in his career, but this is definitely one of the ones that is actually good that he made. And I got It, which is just a very good modern horror movie. I mean, it's not necessarily the most scary movie, but it's overall just a very well told story, and it's just a very good movie overall, even if it's not that scary as you'd really think it is. And I'm It Chapter 2, which obviously is a sequel to that, and it's just a step down from it, but it's still overall just a pretty enjoyable movie, even if it's not really that scary, kind of like the first one. I mean, it's not that scary, but they do overall still do a pretty good job storytelling. And I got the Sean Connery collection, Volume 1 of the James Bond movies, and this is obviously pretty good. I mean, these are probably these are definitely my three favorite of the Sean Connery ones. I mean, yeah, Dr. No one's like set off all of them, and then From Russia with Love, which has also a very good sequel, and then Goldfinger, which is my favorite James Bond movie, which, and this is just many I have. Then there's Sean Connery Collection Volume 2, which has just the next three movies that he was in, which was Thunderball, You Only Live Twice, and Diamonds Are Forever, which, I mean, these ones aren't as good as like the first three Sean Connerys, but I still overall found them to be pretty enjoyable for what they were. But that's, yeah, it's like two of the only James Bond movies. Just wait, I got pretty much the whole collection this year. The George Lazenby one, which is just On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which I feel like is kind of like the underrated Bond movie. It's like the one a lot of people seem to forget about, but I overall liked it. And we have like the Roger Moore collection volume 1. I mean, not the biggest fan of this era of Bond, but these ones, Live and Let Die, Mouthful, and Gun, which were okay movies. And then Despite Love Me, which is probably easily the best of like this Roger Moore era. And then there's Volume 2, which has like probably the worst ones there, if I'm being honest. Some of the worst Bond movies, if I'm being honest, like Moonraker, which I wasn't a fan of, and then For Your Eyes Only, seemed a little, wasn't very good, and then Octopussy was one of like the worst Bond movies. And there's A View to a Kill, which, I mean, wasn't that very good. I mean, the Roger Moore wasn't the best. I mean, I had the collectible James Bond franchise. We have the Timothy Dalton collection, which, I mean, these two movies are pretty enjoyable. I mean, they're The Living Daylights and License to Kill, which I feel like are some underrated Bond movies that don't really get that much recognition. And I don't feel like these two movies were pretty good. We have like the whole Pierce Brosnan collection, starting with GoldenEye, which was great. I mean, these are the best of their era. And then Tomorrow Never Dies, which was pretty bad. I mean, it wasn't very good. And then there's The World's Not Enough, which also was not good. But then there's Die Another Day, which is without a doubt the worst Bond movie. And then the Daniel Craig collection you saw last year, so if you haven't seen that video, you and just go click back to it, and then that's where you'll see the Daniel Craig collection. We got John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum, which, if you watch my channel this year, you obviously know I thought it was a masterpiece. The best of the John Wick trilogy, and honestly, it just was one of my favorite movies, ended up being one of my favorite movies of all time, and one of my favorite movies of last year even. And we got Joker, which if you didn't really know what I was referring to at the beginning, this kind of what I was referring to. It's kind of why I was like waiting to do this video. It was to get this, and then I did finally get this last weekend, and finally done the video. But anyways, back to the topic. Joker is a masterpiece. I mean, it's my favorite movie of last year. That to be honest, I'm pretty interested to see how many Academy Awards it really wins out of the ones that got nominated. I got Peter Jackson's King Kong, which was a pretty good movie. I mean, it definitely really does. It's one of the better King Kong movies. I mean, even with its flaws here and there, I did overall think enjoy this movie for what it is. We got the Lego Movie 2, the second part, which, I mean, this was a very fun movie of last year. Definitely been kind of did better at the box office because it's just a really fun movie, and I definitely wish that more people saw it, if I'm being honest. Lion King remake, which I know a lot of people didn't really like it. I personally just thought it was just average. I mean, it definitely does have its issues. I mean, it does try to be the exact same thing as the original, but I did still overall have a nostalgic feeling for this movie enough to make me okay, and just how realistic it looks is what I really like. I have the whole Matrix trilogy, The Matrix, Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolutions. I mean, the only good one really is The Matrix. I mean, its sequels are just okay, but overall, I don't really regret having it. I mean, it's hopefully something I'm kind of gotta tell him. And I have Memento, which is one of many of Christopher Nolan's masterpieces. I mean, I did really enjoy this movie, and I definitely think Christopher Nolan did a great job on this, as he does in nearly every movie he does. And I have the Men in Black trilogy. It's just obviously the first 3 Men in Blacks. I mean, I probably won't buy International because I really did not like it. I mean, Men in Black is a great start of it. The second one was bad, and then the third one was decent. And overall, the trilogy, I mean, it's not the best. It's mainly for collecting museums, and definitely did like the first one. After that, it's kind of downhill. And I have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was a masterpiece. I mean, it just works in every way. I mean, it's just another masterpiece from Tarantino, and I mean, it's just a very great movie, and pretty like a Best Picture nomination. And I have Point Break, which I do kind of find it to be underrated. I mean, it is a very fun movie it's a story that works, and as well, there's there are issues with it, but I do feel like it's kind of underrated. I mean, it's not really something that gets talked about that much, and I definitely kind of wish it gets more recognition. Prestige, which is also a Christopher Nolan masterpiece that I definitely really like, and maybe if I can before Tenet, I might review this as well as some of his other movies, but that's only if I can get to it. And I have Ralph Breaks the Internet, which is a step down from the original, but overall is a pretty enjoyable film. I mean, it's a step down from the original, but I do still really like it for what it is. I mean, I do probably need to watch it again. I've only seen it like twice, and it's been a really long time since I saw it. I mean, I do probably need to watch this again. I have the first 6 Rocky movies, which, I mean, the franchise I do kind of like. I mean, it starts here, the first Rocky, which is a great movie, and the second one I enjoyable, and the third one is fourth one is also kind of I mean, I do kind of like it. And then there's Rocky 5, which sucked. I mean, it's the worst one. And then there's Rocky Balboa, which, I mean, okay, I guess. And also, this is the Rocky movies. Next, I got 7, which is just a masterpiece. I mean, and that's just very much perfect throughout this movie. And I do really enjoy it. And I got the Shawshank Redemption, which is another masterpiece. I mean, it's pretty much perfect, and I really like this adaptation of Stephen King's story. Next, I got Shazam, which is a very good movie that kind of like put DCU back on track, and it's a very great movie. I mean, it's not really perfect. I still really enjoy it, and I'm glad that DCU got back on track on this movie. Then I got The Shining, which is just a classic. I mean, there's a lot of great things about this movie. I mean, it's pretty controversial because, there are some people who don't really like it because it doesn't really fit that much with the book, but I did overall really like the movie, and I definitely like the way this was adapted to the big screen, and just how scary they kind of made it. I got Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which was a very great movie. I mean, I'm kind of glad this did win Best Animated Feature. I mean, even if it wasn't my favorite animated movie that year, I am kind of glad it did, because it really would have been just kind of unexpected. I think this movie is very great. I'm kind of glad it did win. I got Spider-Man Far From Home, which was the third of the MCU movies last year, and it was very good for us. I mean, I did enjoy it for what it is, even with its flaws. Split, which is the second one in that whole trilogy, and it is a very good movie as well. I mean, the whole trilogy is pretty good, but I do think this movie was always, I mean, it's a bit better than Glass, I can say that, but it is a pretty great movie. I got the Taken trilogy here, which is basically just all three Takens. I mean, the first Taken, the one I did really like, and the second and third one I didn't really like that much, but, and I'll just get through the collection. I got Toy Story 4, which is a great movie. I mean, and it's probably one of the best animated movies last year. I mean, wouldn't be surprised if it ended up winning at the Academies. I got Venom, which, I mean, I didn't really like that much. I mean, it's a mediocre film, and I don't really care for it at all. I mean, it's very mediocre, and to be honest, it is very underwhelming to watch, if I'm being honest. War of the World Steelbook here, and it's honestly not bad of the movie at all. I mean, it is okay. It's not one of Spielberg's best movies, though, but it is, can be enjoyable to watch at times, and I do really like the armor in the Steelbook. So that was every movie I got since the last time I made the updated collection, and I'm gonna thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.